Hi, my name is Hannah Ramirez, and I will be reviewing the show Moon Knight on Disney+. So Moon Knight is a Marvel show released in 2022, directed by Mohammed Diab, and it's a show about a man named Mark Spector who has dissociative identity disorder, meaning he has multiple different personalities. One of his identities is a man named Stephen Grant, who is a kind, curious museum worker who doesn't realize yet that he shares a body with Mark. So Mark is a former mercenary who becomes the avatar for the Egyptian moon god Khonshu, and this causes Mark to turn into the superhero Moon Knight. And basically, he has to fight people who are trying to use Egyptian gods for evil, or want to use Egyptian gods for evil. So, in the episodes that are set in Egypt, Mark and Stephen travel to Cairo to stop a villain named Arthur Harrow, who is trying to release an Egyptian goddess, Ammit, who punishes people before they commit crimes. So, these two episodes show Egyptian culture, the gods, and mythology, while also highlighting Layla, who is Mark's wife, who becomes a superhero herself, called the Scarlet Scarab. So by the end of the show, Mark and Stephen learn to work together, and Layla helps save Egypt, showing strength, identity, and pride in her heritage. So the two episodes we're going to be talking about are episode 3, The Friendly Type, and episode 6, the finale episode, Gods and Monsters. So the context of episode 3 is that it's the first major transition to Egypt. So Cairo becomes the main setting, and in this episode, Mark and Layla, they're searching for clues for Ammit's tomb to try to find it before Harrow does and releases her spirit, all the bad stuff. And in this episode also, Mark meets a lot more avatars that are avatars for all the other Egyptian gods. So the key themes in this episode are breaking the stereotypes. So Mohammed Diab deliberately avoids depicting Egypt stereotypically. He includes Cairo nightlife, the modern streets, and everyday people. So, and this kind of flows into the local authenticity, because Arabic is spoken naturally. Egyptian music plays in some of the intros and the outros to episodes and throughout. And the costumes reflect actual Cairo life rather than a Hollywood fantasy version. So episode 6, the context of this episode is it centers on Cairo's fate, and all the Egyptian gods battle through their avatars. And Layla becomes the Scarlet Scarab, which is Marvel Cinematic Universe's first Egyptian superhero. So that's super cool. And the key themes in this episode, a few of them: cultural reclamation. So this show visually and thematically celebrates Egypt. You see the Egyptian skyline, the Cairo skyline, the Egyptian symbolism, all of the hieroglyphics that are embedded into the costumes, the weapons. It's very intricate. And Layla saving her people. So next is empowerment and identity. So Layla's superhero reveal that directly acknowledges the significance of seeing an Egyptian woman as a global hero. And this is shown when she saves a girl from getting hit by a car, and the girl asks her in Arabic, "Are you my Egyptian superhero?" And Layla says in the same tongue, "I am." And this is culturally and thematically relevant, so much so because as a young girl or even a young person of color, seeing somebody of your same ethnicity be capable of so much and hold that much power and humility at the same time, it's really inspiring. It's really inspiring, and it beats down those stereotypes. So last key theme in this episode is just reframing Egypt's image. So again, the music, the costumes, and just the direction from Mohammed Diab, the director. He just did a beautiful job of just putting all the effort in to make this genuine and authentic. So, as Mina Tobia says in her article, Hollywood's Problem with Arab Representation, or a Lack Thereof, in 2024, allowing Arab voices to be heard shouldn't just be a one-sided battle, but a collective effort. Just as the choice has been made time and again to turn us into villains, it must be consciously unmade so that harmful caricatures can finally be replaced by real people. So after looking at these 2 episodes, they really show the bigger picture of how Moon Knight starts to challenge those old stereotypes and push for a more real Egyptian-led representation in Western media. So overall, I think that this show did a really amazing job of just the depiction of Cairo, the set that they had, the music was true to the culture. It sounded beautiful. The language, I mean, you had a bunch of people that were just speaking Arabic, and it wasn't just murmuring, it was the actual real language. And my favorite part, which was the costumes, because I just think they did such a good job. I think they were very, very accurate. And one specific costume that I want to talk about is Layla's, because her Scarlet Scarab costume is actually not drawn from authentic Egyptian mythology. It was created in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the comics of Scarlet Scarab are actually of a man. So I just think it was really cool still that they chose to give it to a woman, specifically an Egyptian Palestinian woman. That's the actress's heritage. And I just think they did a really good job with that. So together, these 2 episodes, they show progress and limits of Middle Eastern, North African representation in Hollywood. It does raise the question, though, of who gets to tell Egypt's story, because the main characters still are Western. Oscar Isaac is depicted as an American man, and same with Ethan Hawke, who plays Arthur Harrow. But it really reflects the efforts to decolonize representation. So moving from that Western control and toward authentic Egyptian perspective. So yeah, and I think that the director's influence really helps push against stereotypes and really pushes for cultural ownership. Thank you.